Hello, everybody. Just contemplating the mystery today, the mystery that we have fellowship with, according to Paul, the mystery that was hidden from all ages, from the beginning of time, but in the incarnation of Christ was laid bare. So what is this mystery that Paul speaks of? And this is really the determinate purpose of creation in the first place, is that God always wanted to take a bride into himself. He always wanted to create something and then bind himself to it. And, if you look at the verses in Ephesians chapter 1, you'll notice that this was something that was fully determined by God from time immemorial. It's all about his will and according to his purpose and his divine will, that we were chosen in his Son before the foundations of the earth. Out of the love bed of the Trinity, they always wanted to create something that they could bind themselves together in marriage. And this is the divine purpose. This is the mystery that we might not understand all things, but we have fellowship with the mystery, and we can just allow it to disclose itself to us. And so, Jesus often spoke about in the New Testament, he often spoke about how the scriptures spoke of him. And he says, you search the scriptures for salvation because you think you have them in them, but they all speak of me. And it says on the road to Emmaus that he showed the strangers the scriptures that spoke about him. And so when it says scriptures in the New Testament, it's actually referring to the Old Testament, because the New Testament wasn't gathered yet or whatever. But really, it's amazing to look at the Old Testament stories and how they speak about the Word, how literally the Word, it was on its way to incarnation in the New Testament. And so some of these stories, we get to see what was actually taking place when Jesus incarnated and what was going on during his passion. And one of the great mysteries that Paul speaks about is he refers to Adam and Eve, and he says, this is a mystery, this marriage between Adam and Eve, this creation of Eve, it's a mystery, but I speak about Christ and his church. And so it says in the King James Version that Adam was put in a deep sleep, and then out of his side came out Eve. But the word is actually tardema, and that actually means that he was thrown into an ecstasy. He was thrown into a trance, and out of his side came Eve. And so we see Jesus in the incarnation, burning in the ecstasy of his passion, about to take his bride, and he's literally standing outside of himself in an ecstasy. And out of his broken side comes the church. And this is why he went to the cross, for the joy that was set before him. He was in an ecstasy, burning in his passion, which is why they refer to it as his passion, ready to take his bride. And so also in Hosea, we get this story and we only think it's about Israel. Remember, Israel were supposed to be a light to the Gentiles. They were not chosen apart from the Gentiles. They were always chosen to show a bigger picture to the Gentiles. But, Gomer, Hosea's wife, is basically going around and acting like a whore, for lack of a better word. But as they're going around, and he says, you know what, go ahead and make her your wife. And that was really what we get pictured at the cross as well, is that as humanity, when God showed up in the flesh, we spit in his face and we killed him and we gave him his worst. And when we gave him his worst, he used that very act to forgive us and to have mercy on us and compassion, and forever bind himself to us together in union and in marriage. And this is the reality. We are the bride of Christ, and God is not unequally yoked with his bride. We've been made spotless and pure and clean. And again, in the Song of Solomon, this is what the shepherd king is trying to convince the Shulamite bride of. She's like, I am dark, he says, but you are lovely. I am darker than the tenths of whatever, but you are lovely. And this is what we do. We need to be persuaded that we are not unequally yoked with the groom. We are his bride, his lovely spotless bride, that he's trying to convince us, you are lovely. But what I did yesterday, you are lovely. But what I did in my past, you don't know, but you are lovely. And you are his bride. You are lovely, and he is in union with you. Emmanuel, God with us, means he's chosen to never be God without us. Awake, bride. You are beautiful, you are spotless, and we are in divine union. Behold, the plan of God from time eternal. God bless.